Bravo. 180 Bravo.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's been quite some time since the beta has really sunk into everyone's lives, dude. It's been quite an experience. So now the beta is currently open for everyone, everywhere, except the Switch. So I'm sorry, guys. Got to sit this one out. I'm playing on the PC, and at first, it was a little bit shitty. I can't lie. Certain guns kind of are beautiful, and others are really poo-poo, which is a little sad, but perhaps, it's the least of it. Ground War is something that people were very curious about, and it's definitely much more of a, it's an approach that is very familiar. I love Call of Duty, and it's a great game. And it's 64 people, 32v32, which is great. I don't know if it's going to get bigger or not. It depends on the map or how it works, but it is crazy. We have returning vehicle from Blackout, and then we have some other vehicles that are very familiar. You can understand. Also, this map, we only have one, at least for Ground War, but I think one's just enough. In this respect, it's cool, very interesting. There's a few interesting things about this map and how spawns work, but spawns work a little bit better than they do in traditional maps. The spawns are still very questionable. They're very questionable. The guns, however, I think at this point the cap is at the cap, dude. We saw everything from AC-130s and score streaks, or kill streaks, sorry guys, is very, very cool. They're all fun to use, and overall, I can't wait to get my hands on the care package because, I'm not over here getting 1,000 kills, lads, I'm sorry. I haven't seen anyone use a nuke yet, so that's interesting. Now, as far as the guns go, they're very fun. They're very fun. They're unique guns. However, maybe it's just the way it is, but certain guns don't really show the true colors until they get to about max level. We don't even know the level, but we know that at least the max we can get for most guns is 30. I don't know if it's higher than that, but I do know that there's a possible chance. Okay, 100 attachments. We probably haven't even seen them all yet, which is kind of crazy. I can't lie. A lot of stuff to use, and it's so crazy because 5 attachments still doesn't feel like enough. Yet, 5 is already a lot, and it's great, dude. I love having attachments for guns. It is very beautiful, dude. This is better than Pick 10, and miles, ways ahead, dude. Ways ahead. As far as perks are still pretty good. We, again, since the cap has been raised, we have access to more variety, which means there's a lot more going on. And overall, dude, I'm gonna sit there and say that, yeah, this is definitely a step in the right direction. Of course, you have some inspiration from other games, obviously, but I prefer this inspiration than hero shooters, because if I want to play Overwatch, I will play Overwatch. I'm looking at you, Black Ops 4. So I'm kind of glad we're at least in a step in this direction. Now, people will argue that this game is very similar to Rainbow Six, very similar to Battlefield, which is true, but it still has Call of Duty vibes, okay? And that's just the way it is, dude. I at least like it. It's all up to opinion. Some people hate it. There are flaws with this game. I'm not gonna sit there and say that this game is perfect the way it is. There's a lot that needs to be changed, but at the moment we're at, it's definitely looking a lot better than Black Ops 4. Now the question is, which a lot of people and myself are wondering, is two things. Number one, the first one being is what will the post-launch feel like? Because Black Ops 4, if we all remember, we were all pretty happy about it, okay? At least during the beta period. We loved Blackout. We loved multiplayer. When it came out, we loved it for at least a month, and then afterwards, that's when it literally just went down from there. So the question is, how is this post-launch Modern Warfare going to be? Could we do this for months and months and not get tired? I don't know. How much content is there is the question. How Spec Ops gonna be? Because that's something that we haven't even had our eyes on yet. Not much of campaign either. We haven't actually seen gameplay in campaign, but still. How's that gonna look? Number 2. More importantly, how are guns gonna be implemented? There is now, I guess, variants of guns. Essentially weapon skins that just make the gun, for example, an AK could now look like an AK-74U. The question is, if they add those or just actual weapons, how are they going to be added into the game? As in, how is the micro-intense action system going to work? Is it going to be as shitty as Black Ops 4, or is it going to be decent, at least, like World War II or MWR, where at least if you just keep getting duplicates, your parts or salvage or whatever currency they'll use could just be added to build or get what you'd like, dude. Honestly, how contracts are going to work? Are they going to take purposely a long time to add contracts? We don't know. There's a lot going on, but obviously we know microtransactions in the game. They're going to be heavier this year because there's no DLC, as in there's no paying season pass, which is good. But that means Activision, they understand this and they gotta make their money. However, in some capacity, they are a business at the end of the day, and we're not looking at this as if they're good or bad. We're looking at this as they're business people. They have to make their profits. They have to make their goals. That's just a promise they made the shareholders, etc., etc. Overall, again, I'm really happy for this Call of Duty, but we all kind of say this before it comes out, and then usually like a month or two afterwards, where real opinions settle in, because the honeymoon phase is what most people refer to as is over with. Right now, we're getting to that stage, but we're not there yet. So all this is new, but still, from new, it's very cool. You know, it's nice. And then only one other thing I just want to know is, how much are we going to get after launch? Is it going to be monthly stuff? Is it going to be new spanking maps, or is it going to be remasters? I don't know. Like, that's talk for another day. Because usually, you know, for me to buy a game, I at least want to know what post-launch looks like, what the window for how much content, how frequent it is going to be. That's just how I look at it, at least. But yeah, dude, very great, very great. Just a lot of crazy moments overall, and honestly, I think this is even with what's going on, I definitely know this is gonna be better than Black Ops 4, and definitely better than Infinite Warfare, and it probably will be better than World War II. So at least it's gonna be better than Call of Duty's in like the last 3 years. So that's at least good news. But the real question, man, the big fat question is that, is it going to be better, or at least on par with the OG Call of Duties? Because this is pretty much what this Call of Duty is shaping itself to be, is to be pretty much new, but as relatable to the Modern Warfare franchise as possible. Because, you know, Modern Warfare is, well, you know, it's kind of there, you know, it's kind of there. That's it, dude. That's just kind of my whole thoughts, feelings, opinions, and speculation on the whole idea, on the whole thing. Overall, the beta was pretty successful. I like the fact that it was an open beta. That's good. That's very good. I don't know if Treyarch did an open beta or not. I think it might have been for Blackout, but I'm not sure if it was for multiplayer. I don't know. But yeah, that about sums it up. We want to know about next, though, is what's going on with Spec Ops? You know, what's going on with Spec Ops? You know, one thing I'd like to honestly see, to just go on, is I'd like to see the return of survival. You know, at least just in there. I don't know how Spec Ops is going to be, because, you know, Spec Ops is kind of not replayable, at least from the older games. They are fun missions, I'm not going to lie, but it's not replayable. Survival is, though. That's something I'd like to see. Of course, I think that by now everyone's sick of horde modes, but it's just anything with zombies, and we're kind of good. We're kind of good. But yeah, I don't know how Spec Ops is going to be, but that's the next question, is what the Spec Ops looks like. Obviously, I know the campaign looking pretty good, looking pretty crispy, man, looking good as hell, and I know that campaign's gonna be good. Like overall, I'll get the game just for the basis of a campaign, because I like for all these other people. At least I like a cohesive story. I like a good story, and sometimes Call of Duty makes a good story. Okay, the Modern Warfare trilogy and the Black Ops trilogy, besides free, is like definitely like my childhood. Those are like some of the best stories I experienced. So I'd like to see that again. So who knows what the future may bring.